Democratic Representative Jasmine Crockett appeared on Jimmy Kimmel's program on Tuesday evening, where they discussed the fact that Donald Trump has been launching repeated attacks against the Texas lawmaker. And in the last month, on two separate occasions, Donald Trump has attacked Crockett as he loves to call black people, being low IQ. And yes, I always point out the fact that that typically is an insult that Donald Trump reserves for non-white people. And it, of course, is an indication that Donald Trump does clearly believe that non-white people are somehow subhuman, right? You're not as smart as us. You can't do what we can do. We're genetically superior. That's racism, folks. He may not have to come out and say the N-word, but when he says low IQ, you better believe it's pretty much the same thing in his vocabulary. But here is what Trump said at the National Republican Congressional Dinner just a few weeks ago. How about this new one they have, this new star, Crockett? How about her? Is that real? Are they serious about that? That's their new star? If that's their new star, they're in serious trouble. I mean, this is Crockett. Oh man. We've done a job, but they've totally lost their confidence, and it's a hard thing when you lose your confidence, but they've taken a lot of beatings, and now they're going to rely on Crockett to bring them back. And in March, he also did an interview with radio host Vince Coglianese, where he called her a lowlife, low IQ, and just generally went after her. So Kimmel played those clips for Crockett. And Crockett says, "It says a lot when you literally are supposed to be the leader of the free world and you're worried about a rising sophomore in the House. I'm just saying." That's a brilliant thing to say, right? Donald Trump's supposed to be the leader of the free world. Everybody on the planet's supposed to be scared of the guy, supposed to be calling him up to make negotiations about his trade war or negotiations about their ongoing wars. And yet here he is, whining and crying about a woman that has been in office for 2 years and 4 months, right? Like, oh God, oh no, she's low IQ. He's obsessed with her. He's talked about her on multiple occasions. He doesn't have to address her at all. That's not part of his job. But he does it because she is a strong black woman, and nothing terrifies Donald Trump on this planet more than strong black women. So after Crockett made her statement, Kimmel says, "He also called you low IQ. I'm sure you're aware of that. Would you be willing to take an IQ test publicly, head to head against the President of the United States?" And she said, absolutely. And I don't think that's a bad idea. I mean, after all, Donald Trump loves to call people low IQ. He loves to say that these people aren't very smart. I'm so much smarter. I'm the best. I aced my cognitive exam. They said nobody's ever done that, but I did it. And they said nobody could do it, but I could do it, and I could do it again. Take an IQ test. Do it. You see, what Donald Trump doesn't seem to understand, and I'm assuming it's because he's never actually taken an IQ test, is that an IQ test is not about what you know. Right? There are some general knowledge questions in an IQ test. Yes, I have taken one. Passed it flying colors. But it's mostly logic and reasoning. Seeing how your brain connects things and works through problems. That is intelligence. You could know everything in the world and still not be a high IQ individual, right? There's a big difference between intelligence and recall. And Donald Trump doesn't seem to understand that, again, because he's likely never actually had to take a real IQ test. And based on his inability to string sentences together to form coherent and cogent thoughts, I don't think he would do well on one. I mean, his IQ might actually be about room temperature, right? Maybe around 72. Depending on how warm or cold you like to keep your house. But that's where I would imagine Donald Trump is, right there at average to slightly below. Crockett, on the other hand, is quick-witted. She is smart. You can see that she's able to come up with ideas and plans and things that other people cannot do super quickly. I think she's actually very high IQ. Based on what I've seen from her, that is indicative of somebody that is exceptionally intelligent. But she didn't just reserve all of her ire for Donald Trump. She went on to say that she believes that Marjorie Taylor Greene is the dumbest person in Congress. On that issue, I disagree. I think she's definitely dumb, don't get me wrong. But if you're going to say the dumbest person in the House is 100% Lauren Boebert. I mean, let's be real. It's Lauren Boebert. And if you're talking about both the House and Senate combined, then the honor does not go to Boebert, it goes to Tommy Tuberville. There is nobody in Washington, D.C., elected or not, dumber than Tommy Tuberville. So that is the one thing I will disagree with Jasmine Crockett on. In the House, Boebert is dumber than Green, just barely, but I think it's there. And then overall, nobody's dumber than Tommy Tuberville. And then she took a crack at Elon Musk, and I love this one. She said, when I tell you that the level of incompetence is almost incomprehensible, when you bring up the idiot known as Elon Musk, he has inflicted so much harm and done so much that even Trump doesn't want to talk about it. Again, not just an attack, but a reminder to this audience of Jimmy Kimmel Live that these are people that are making so many mistakes and doing so many stupid things that even they won't talk about them anymore. That should tell you something. That should wake you up. And again, a very smart way to do it. But I love the idea of head-to-head IQ tests. I have no doubt that Crockett would knock it out of the park. Meanwhile, Donald Trump would still be sitting there blathering on about Hillary Clinton instead of answering the questions. So let's make it happen.